What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 44 on my road to 700 pounds on bench and week 2 of my Boss of Bosses 6 meet prep. So this week I actually had a couple of PRs in the gym, very exciting. Squat and deadlift obviously have been going up slowly over the last few weeks, as you guys have seen, kind of in maintenance mode. This is literally like the first and second weeks that I've really been able to let things loose on squat and deadlift. Bench has been not necessarily on the back burner like I covered last week, but kind of in a not maintenance mode, but we're working on technique. We backed down the weight just a little bit. So this week we basically went about 545 or so for one, and then went into some 520 for a few sets just to kind of keep things going and work on technique, as you'll see in the recap here in a minute. Squats and deadlifts, man, I am very excited. Hit 675 for both for a double, and that is both gym PRs, and very, very exciting that the grip is holding up with deadlift, legs are holding up with squats, but I'm going to go ahead and jump right on into the video recap this week and then follow it up with a couple of Q&As. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and you'll get all the information from me. You can go back and watch some of my old recaps if you're just new to the channel. Anybody that's coming on board now, I really appreciate all the subscribers that I have. I think we just passed up 9,000, which is amazing, that considering like less than a year ago, I didn't have maybe 300. So really, I appreciate every single one of y'all out there that are following on this journey on my bench and obviously with the full powerlifting meet. But go ahead and jump right into the recap and stay tuned. All right, so day one is my heavy bench day. I like to show kind of how I get ready for a lift. As you can see, I use Skull Smash ammonia. I really like that stuff. I really like their company. I don't always need ammonia to get amped up for a lift, but it really does help just to kind of clear out any excess thoughts that are going on. Just, sometimes just put you in the zone. So occasionally you'll see me using it. Sometimes you'll see me, not using it. It's not really something that I would say you have to depend on, but definitely a good company. Check them out, skull-smashammonia.com. I want to show you guys this amazing set for bench this week. Got my buddy Justin Dubs over at Dubs Barbell Club in Spring, Texas, spotting me out here. Moving well. Like I said earlier, not working on super heavy this week. Really just working on some technique. This is the working set. This is my main set, obviously. Knock out a set of 5 there, and then I've strapped on some chains. This is 80 pounds total, about 40 pounds on each side, and it's set up just to start getting into the triceps as it comes right off the chest, right around the sticking point, which is about 6 inches or so. If you guys have been watching the recaps, you'll notice that on the 665, that's where I started slowing down, and obviously on the 675 and 680, that's exactly where I got stuck. So that is what I'm pinpointing. Moving on to 455 here with the added weight. Moving on to some back work. This is 120 pounds each for seal rows. This really helps to attack the back. I'm a firm believer in having a strong, solid back as a good foundation for your bench. If you neglect your back, you will see that your bench will not grow. I don't know anybody that's never worked back and had a bigger bench than what they started with. You have to work your back. Shoulder work is important, but I think shoulder health is actually more important than just building a bunch of size in your shoulders. Now, I say that coming from the point that I do already have a solid shoulder base to work off of. I'm not looking to build my shoulder strength up tremendously because I can close grip damn near 700 pounds. So the shoulder and the tricep work is not something that I'm really focused on at this moment. Now, that's not to say that if you have weak triceps or weak shoulders, then you definitely need to work on those to build your bench up. My flies that I'm doing here is definitely something that I'm focusing on to build up that chest. Moving out a little bit wider with my grip in the last few months has definitely moved the weight into my chest a lot more. So I definitely want to make sure that my chest is able to handle the added stress of that wider grip. I do work on triceps, so don't get me wrong. I'm not neglecting tricep work, but you can see here it takes 230 plus pounds to activate and move any kind of, well, I have to do a lot of weight on my triceps, let's just put it that way, because I'm used to working them so hard. It takes quite a bit of weight here to stimulate them. And that's it for day one. Day two, this is what I'm really excited about this week. This is my squat slash deadlift day. I'm keeping them combined for the time being, for as long as I can, just to save a little bit of time. And it takes me a couple days to recover from squats, which doesn't leave a lot of time for me to hit deadlifts in order to rest and then hit bench again. Show my last warm up there with 595. Moving very well. At a new gym. I never tried this gym out before. This is Bona Fitness in Katy, Texas. I live right down the street from it. I just haven't never really worked out anything heavy there. I have been there a couple times, but nothing super heavy, like I said. Did find a couple of guys that were willing to spot me out here. I am in a rack, as you can see, so safety first, but I really don't want to bail on it that far down. If something happens or something catastrophic were to happen, I don't want to have to rely on them to catch it either. But all the help I can get, the better. This is definitely a PR. I went in with to this lift with a lot of confidence. I felt like I could probably do 700 or so last week. So this 675 for a double was pretty much accomplished already. You see I'm nodding there. I'm already feeling the weight. It is heavy, don't get me wrong. I'm just, I know what it feels like to me, and I'm feeling very confident that I can smash this. So here we go. I'm really happy with the way my form held up. Solid. I did lose my footing just as I came up, so I wanted to reset that before taking a second rep. And I like that. Form did not break down on that. I definitely felt some fatigue on a second rep, but for 675, a double, that is a 25-pound PR from last week. So if you guys are following along, that's big news for me. Set here called for a static hold or walkout with 765. I did that prior to this. And felt, you know what, I think I can walk this out and hold this for a few seconds. So this is a big 800 pounds here. I put the safety bars up a little higher for a couple reasons. One, for safety, and two, so that I wouldn't get the need to go ahead and squat it. I don't need to be squatting this much weight right now, but it really did make me feel confident that when I do have this much on my back in a meet, I think it's go time. So we just got to stay healthy. Moving on, I got my speed squats. I really don't like moving on to speed after. Now, it's a necessity. I say that cautiously. If I didn't feel good, I wouldn't do it. But it's really hard for me to change gears from a max effort, not max, but a max effort into speed. It's just a different transmission, if you will, and so I really just kind of have to get in the zone for it. After the first set or two, I'm pretty much golden. So moving on, I did my deadlifts pretty much 10 minutes after I started setting up my deadlifts. I go through 315 first. Now, if I'm deadlifting on a day that I didn't squat before, I always start with the bar. That's always been my regimen. But if I've just finished squatting, my legs are warm, 315s is plenty. It's starting to kind of warm the back up. So I work on one plate at a time until I get up to 585. As you'll see here, this is my last warm up. Now, I am using an over-under grip, so I do stress, if you don't know about bicep issues with over-under, you never want to flex your bicep or try to curl the bar at all. Obviously, you're not going to curl that much weight, but if you even attempt to it, you're probably going to hurt yourself. So I do stress that if you're going to do it over-under, notice my arms never flex whatsoever. They literally just act as hooks. They stay straight, and I never, ever think that I can curl that much weight. You see a lot of people hurting themselves, tearing biceps, things like that on deadlifts over unders. That's why a lot of people have turned to hook grip or double over, which obviously is very difficult. I do have a PR in the gym. I did it after the animal cage a couple years back of 605 for a double overhand. But over that, it starts slipping. There's no way to hold the bar in place there. That's why a lot of people do hook grip, where you actually hook your thumb. I've just got some weird setup with my fingers. My palms are a lot longer than my fingers, so my fingers actually don't wrap all the way around to my thumb. So it's a very, very odd setup for me. I can handle the pain of it. I'm not able to hold on that far, so I've had to stick with what works for me. But here we go. 675. Had no issues with this mentally. I'm already mentally in the mid 700s, but we are trying to get the grip work up a little bit. I did 715 for a double a few weeks back with straps, so definitely moving on. Dead stop each rep in meet prep. Not a big deal at all. I definitely have a big, huge back pump from today. I recommend taurine for that. If you guys are having issues with back pump on your squat and deadlift days, definitely helps to keep that back pump to a minimum. It's not going to go away. The only way to really get it to go away is put some heat on there and kind of stretch it out and rest it. But doing squats and deadlifts this heavy back to back, I'm okay with the level of back pump that I have. Some speed deadlifts here. First set I did double or over under, and then I moved on to my subsequent sets with some straps, just because my grip did start slipping, and I am trying to maintain calluses at the same time. This is another great exercise for core work as well as grip work, and this is suitcase deadlifts. Not super heavy, but just heavy enough to really work the grip without tearing anything. As far as callus work, I do use a couple different products. I would say that you could probably just get away with doing sandpaper. Just lightly sand your calluses and put lotion on them before you go to sleep. Another good grip work exercise is the static plate holds, and you can start off with 2.5s or even 5s. I did 10s for these fingers. Your ring finger and your pinky finger are typically your weakest link when you are slipping with the bar. Normally it's not going to be your index or your middle finger. Now you can work grip all together with just like static holds of a heavy bar on a rack, or just pick up the deadlift bar and hold it on your last set, hold it for or last rep, hold it for a few extra seconds. This is actually a specific exercise that works on the finger and wrist forearm strength, specifically targeting the weakest link. And I know with me, I could look down after my deadlifts, and just below my pinky and my ring finger, I had some knurling scratches, and I could tell obviously that's the area that the knurling was scratching. And those fingers, if they were able to hold a little longer without slipping, they wouldn't have had that. So that's just my evidence that that's what I need to work on. Ending out the day here with some leg curls. This machine is a little different setup than the other one, so I didn't have to do quite as much weight, but I did have to add a little bit to it. Moving on to my fun day, which is day 3, starting off with some lat pull-downs. This is back at Dynamic Fitness in Katy, Texas. This is a pretty nice commercial gym. I've heard a lot of you guys commenting, or seen a lot of you guys commenting about, is it tough to work out in a commercial gym, or, are there drawbacks or things like that. Honestly, I think it just depends on the gym. This gym is real low key. They let me bring in my own bars. I can pretty much chalk up as long as I clean up after myself, which I would urge you to do that no matter where you're at anyways. The equipment is not super heavy, but for my accessories, it does the job. As you'll see here in a moment, every now and then I have to add a plate or kind of modify an exercise to suit my needs. But I get the work in, and I've made a lot of progress in commercial gyms over the years. If you guys have followed anything about me, you've known that. So it does not, getting to a high level in powerlifting does not require a powerlifting gym or a hardcore environment. A lot of guys like to put that out there. I don't know what it is exactly. I mean, obviously there are benefits to that, those types of gyms, and I will take advantage of them when I can, but I don't require it. I work with what I can. Obviously I don't think I could get by with a Planet Fitness setup or anything like that, but this is not that extreme. See me working a little bit of shoulder presses in here. So I do maintain some shoulder health. Obviously with the IYT raises and some of these overhead presses, this is the full stack. So just really just getting some reps, some blood work in here, and feeling good about things. Maintaining my body weight. I dropped down just a little bit, but I'm hovering right around 300. This week on average I woke up around 298. Houston area this time of year is very, very humid and hot. Average is probably upper 90s to low hundreds, and it's just going to get hotter into the late summer and August months and hurricane season. So it's a constant battle to keep weight on, but weight does not equal strength. I have to stress that. A lot of guys assume just because you're going to gain weight that you gain strength. Those calories don't just magically turn into usable muscle. Now you can, if you see the plate I've got loaded up here, it's a 45-pound plate. But I always stress to people that when you gain weight, there's going to be a lag time in there where the added weight that you're putting on is really just water and excess calories, and your body has to build that muscle up and build that muscle into something that's usable. So I am starting to have usable 300 pounds worth of strength when I first got up to 300 round range, maybe 3 months ago or 2.5 months ago. I was probably using maybe 5 pounds of that. Now I'm using the full 15 pounds. I'm just a lot stronger, but I am starting to kind of lean out because of the summer. So I'm going to start kind of upping the calories a little bit, especially going deep into meat prep. I definitely want to feel a lot better. I don't want to be too lean, but as of now, obviously 2 PRs in a week on my quote unquote off lifts, and I'm feeling pretty good. But that is it for the recap. Overall this week, 2 PRs. I can't stress enough that I'm very excited about that. I am gearing up. I've already got my training for the next week. Very, very excited. I'm going to go for a couple more PRs. Now, I do have a 745 over under grip deadlift PR in the gym. We're not going quite that high next week, but we're getting up there in the 700s. We're going to be going for a 710 pound squat. And that's in sleeves, by the way. Very excited about that. Feel very confident. I feel like I could actually go a lot higher than that with the way that the weight's been moving. But here's the thing. I am in a strict meat prep situation here where it's not going to be advantageous for me to go, and let's say this week for week 45 coming up is a 710 pound squat. Now, let's say I nail the 710 pound squat and I think, oh man, I could hit 750 today. Well, if that 750 is in fact upper end of what I could hit in the meet, let's say, and that's where, that's what I'm projecting, potentially I would be at in a meet day situation 8 weeks away. What am I supposed to do on week 46 if I hit 750 next week? See, that becomes a problem. So that's going to be kind of a lesson to you guys that are new to powerlifting or new to just lifting in general, and you feel like you want to max out all the time. It's not smart. So let's say I do 750 and it goes off without a hitch and I'm fine, but my max is probably true at 760. Let's just hypothetically say. And I do that the following week. Well, now I have 6 weeks left to do something in order to try to get stronger or maintain that strength. and then it becomes a problem, because the way that you're supposed to peak is you will add a little bit of volume going in, and typically with me, we drop off the volume for the legs probably about 4 weeks out. Stop doing a lot of the heavy accessory work, and it's more of a maintenance mode, and we keep the heavy lifts going until the singles. And then typically maybe 15 days out, we stop squats and deadlifts, and it doesn't necessarily be going to be in that order, but that gives me some time to rest for almost a full 2 weeks on my legs before meet day. Bench might stop 9 days out or so. And that kind of envision a pyramid where right now we're kind of at, the middle part of the pyramid. We started the training cycle down here. We're up in here. If we race to the top too early, then we're actually not peaking correctly. So just a visual there. The plan is to go 710 pound squat, 710 pound deadlift with the over-under grip, no straps, obviously, all the accessory work, and we're going to work up to about 540 for 5, 545 for 5 on bench, which puts me well within shooting distance of hitting 600 anytime. And that it could be, we could change a little of that just based on how things feel, because every day I go into training, we have numbers that are set. But it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to absolutely have to hit those numbers, because if something doesn't feel right in warm up, then all things are off, and we shut things down, and I reassess what's going on, and we might hit that something, the following week just to be safe. But that pretty much gives you an idea of how we're going to look at things going forward. We're definitely we're into the singles now, so we're not really doing any more doubles in squats and deadlifts, and so we're definitely in singles. Everything's going to start getting really heavy. Bench is not necessarily on the back burner, like I said, but at any point in time, I feel very secure knowing that I could do at least probably 670 in a meet situation at this moment. That would put me well above my current total of 2100 if everything goes well on meet day, but we will see. But as always, I ask you guys to submit some questions, and you guys definitely do that. I appreciate it. If you have any questions that you want me to answer directly to you, you can always shoot me a DM on any of the social media platforms, or shoot me a comment, and I can definitely take care of it that way. But I'm going to jump right in. I've got a couple of questions from YouTube this week, and first one is from John Weeks, and he asks, accessories to aid in shoulder health. So basically, you see me doing most of them. If you haven't, you can browse back through some of the videos just to check out some of the shoulder work. Most of it is done on day 3 if you guys want to check back. But just in a nutshell, overhead pressing is great. You can do barbell, you can do dumbbell, you can do seated or standing. I typically do a lot of seated because it takes the pressure off the lower back. It also ensures that I don't get any help from the legs. So I would definitely want to isolate the shoulders. I'm not doing them super heavy. I'm not maxing out on those. So I don't want any help on them. I want it to isolate my shoulders. And if it hurts too much to do that, I'm doing it too heavy. That's kind of a reason to back off. My IYT raises, T3 raises are good. And you can just pretty much Google these. And if you have a question or what they are, leave a comment, and I will definitely link to that video of me doing those. I can just link straight to the videos, and you can see them there. Definitely you can do the front raises, side raises, and rear delt raises. That's a superset where you raise the dumbbells up first as however many reps you're going to hit. Let's say you hit 8 reps on the front, and then you hit 8 reps on the side, and then you bend over and you hit 8 reps on the rear delts. That is an amazing, effective workout for the shoulders, and it doesn't take a lot of weight. You're going to feel it definitely. I would say those, along with bands, banded pull-aparts. You see me doing some of the warm-ups. If you go back and look at how to bench with shoulder pain or without shoulder pain, and I can link that down in the description here. It's one of the videos I did a while back. It's my warm-ups with my band work. That is great, pretty much to do almost any single day, the band work at least. Obviously, the warm-up would be only on your bench days. But that's it for John Weeks' question. Next is Leon Benjamin. He's also on YouTube. Asked, what do you think holds you back right now, shoulders or tricep power? So he's asking me specifically, what do I think is holding me back right now, either shoulders or triceps. It's definitely not my shoulders, and I don't actually believe it's my triceps either. What it is more of a middle range technical issue. A sticking point is a spot in your lift which is the weakest spot. Now, something that causes that could be triceps or could be back, depending on where it's at. If it's higher, it could definitely be triceps. If it's lower, closer to your chest, it could be your chest or your back. Or it could just be the fact that you're not syncing up your muscles the right way. You're not firing your leg drive, or you're not hitting a particular spot with enough speed. And I think at this point, now it's obviously ironic to say hitting a sticking point with 660 plus pounds is kind of a weird place to be in, but weight is weight. So if you're hitting a sticking point with 225, the same technical issues could be holding you back that are holding me back with 600 plus pounds. It really doesn't matter. So what I've been doing a lot of lately is targeting that sticking point. So what is holding me back is right at about 6 inches. I'm not firing through that speed bump, if you will, metaphorically speaking, fast enough. And so what I need to do is work on exploding off my chest more, and that's dead press. And you've seen a couple of those. I did those last week. This week, I'm actually alternating into some more of a banded or a chained bench, and that's just adding weight as the weight gets further and further away from my chest, or it adds resistance if you're using bands. And the dead press will help with the explosion and not having a stretch reflex, and the bands and chains help with having to you have to come off with speed or else you're going to get stuck, especially with a sticking point. And it doesn't take a lot of weight to expose it. There's no reason to work with 600 plus pounds with a sticking point. I'm trying to work with less weight and actually identify the sticking point and actually target it with those bands and chains. And back work. My back can always be stronger, and it obviously helps with other lifts as well, not just bench. But my back and my pecs are the things that I'm really targeting at this moment. So if I had to say that's what's holding me back, it would definitely be my pecs aren't strong enough and my back is not explosive enough, i.e. strong enough. And if I can put all that in sync, I'll blast right through that sticking point, and 660 won't be a problem, 680 won't be a problem, and 700 won't be a problem. But that's pretty much it. I would stress that if you guys are stuck in a lift, look at what's holding you back. And you might not be that far along in your lifting where you've either exposed a weakness yet or hit a plateau, but those sticking points can be on any lift. It can be on squat, it could be on deadlift at your knee level, it could be at your lockout, it could be off the ground. I mean, that's really the case. And I'm mostly talking about the main lifts. It could be your overhead press and things like that. But the accessory work is key to working through any plateau. Your accessory work has to be on point. It has to be specific to the lift and to you as a person and whatever your weakness is. So I definitely urge you to look into what your accessory work is. If you're just going into the gym and hitting your main lifts and leaving, you're probably going to hit a plateau sooner than later. And your accessory work would probably be one of the keys to getting out of that. But I'm going to wrap this video up for this week. As always, I really, really, really appreciate you guys tuning in, that you guys care enough to follow me on my journey. I really appreciate the feedback from last week's video about family. I know a lot of you guys out there are struggling with that. And I don't want to say struggling, but just having to balance your life. And I really appreciate that there's you guys out there. Keep fighting the good fight. There's more to life than just lifting. And I have no problems with anybody that's got lifting on the front burner, but definitely have a balanced life. I really do appreciate that I'm able to do that and able to do lifting in general and share this with you guys. If you guys are on Instagram, definitely check me out over there at SwimHack. And once again, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next week for week 45 on my road to 700 pounds, and it'll be week 3 on my road to who knows what at Boss of Bosses 6. See you guys later.